Hello guys, in this video I'll show you how you can create and view the sun 3D model on top of a sun image target. So let's start with the customization. So first I'll create a new image target, and to do this I'll click on the plus sign. After this I'll go inside Vuforia engine and I'll select the image target option. Next, with the image target option selected, I'll click on the type drop down, and from here I'll select the from database, as we'll be using the sun image target from our AR book database. So I'll click on the database drop down. I'll select the AR book database, and after this from the image target drop down I'll select the sun image target. So this time if I zoom in on my image target, then you can see a sun image target, but because of this camera gizmo we can't see the image target properly. So I'll just reduce the scale of this camera gizmo, and to do this I'll click on this gizmos drop down and I'll move this slider on the left hand side to reduce the size of the camera gizmo. So now the camera gizmo is not visible and we can see the sun image target properly. After this, as most of you would have guessed, for the sun 3D model I'll use the sphere game object. So I'll right click in the hierarchy, I'll go inside 3D objects and I'll select the sphere game object. After this, with the sphere game object selected, I'll reduce its scale. So I'll set the scale to around 0.45. After this, I'll move the sphere game object a little bit on top. Next, I'll make the sphere a child of this image target. Okay. Now I'll also rename this image target to sun image target. Okay, now the reason why I've renamed this image target is because later on as we proceed with the project we'll have multiple image targets. Okay, so to distinguish between each image target I've already renamed this first image target to sun image target. So after making the sphere a child of the sun image target, next I'll click on the play button and I'll test the output. So in the play mode, you can see that the sphere is visible on top of the sun image target, but since the sphere is appearing so dark, so that's why I'll generate the lighting inside our scene. So to do this, I'll come out of play mode. After this, I'll click on Windows, I'll go inside rendering, lighting settings, and I'll select the auto generate checkbox to generate lighting in our scene. So now the sphere is appearing properly. So this time if I click on the play button, then you will see that because of sufficient lighting, the sphere is appearing properly. So I'll come out of play mode. Next, for making the sphere look like a sun, I'll apply a sun texture on top of it. So to do this, I'll open my browser and in the search field I'll type sun texture. Next, I'll click on the images tab. Now while using images from the internet, you have to be extra cautious and make sure that you're not violating any copyright terms or laws. For personal use, you can download any images inside your project. But if you're going to distribute your project, then you have to make sure that the images that you use are inside the public domain. So to download an image from the public domain, I'll click on the tools option. Next, I'll click on usage right. And from here, I'll select this option of labeled for reuse. So the images under the labeled for reuse option can be reused by other people. Okay. And if you select this option of labeled for reuse with modification, then not only can you use this image, but you can modify them as well. Now out of all these options, I'll choose this particular texture. So this texture is under Creative Commons. Okay. And it is hosted on the Wikimedia Commons website. So I'll click on this link. Next, for downloading this texture, I'll select the highest resolution. Over here, you can also see that there are other resolution options available as well. So I'll select this particular resolution. Next, for downloading it, I'll right click, save as. And after this, I'll click on the save button to download this image inside my system. So the sun texture image is downloaded inside my system. So next, I'll copy it inside my Unity project. So to do this, I'll open Unity. Next, inside data files, I'll create a new folder. I'll limit textures, I'll open it, and inside the textures folder, I'll drag this particular image. After this, for applying this image on top of a sphere game object, I'll create a new material. But before that, I'll create a folder by the name of materials. I'll open it. Inside this, I'll create a new material. I'll give this material a name of sun matte. Next, I'll lock the properties of the sun material so that we can apply the sun texture over here. After this, I'll go inside data files. Next, I'll go inside textures and I'll drag this sun texture in place of albedo. Okay. So this time, if I go inside materials, then you will see that the sun texture is applied on top of a sun material. After this, for applying this material to a sphere, I'll just select this material and I'll drop it on the sphere game object. So after attaching the sun material to a sphere is now looking like a sun object. But there is one small problem, and that problem is the shader which is attached, or the shader which is by default attached to the sun material. So basically, whenever we create any material, so that material has a standard shader attached to it. Now, standard shader is good in most of the cases, but when we apply any image or a video on top of a material, so during that time, standard shader adds some dark tint or some dark shade on top of that image. So that's why I'll change the shader of this sun matte from standard to texture. So I'll click on the shaders drop down. After this, I'll go inside unlit, and from unlit, I'll select the texture option. So as I change the shader to texture, you can see that the colors of the sun are appearing bright and clean. So after making this change, next I'll click on the play button. And as you can see, a sun model is complete and it looks great inside the play mode. Okay. Next, we'll create heat waves surrounding a sun. And to do this, we'll download a Unity particles pack. So I'll come out of play mode. After this, I'll go inside assets and in the search field, I'll type Unity particle pack. Now the asset which we are looking for is free and it is developed by Unity themselves. Okay, so as you type Unity particles pack, you will see two assets. First is called as Unity particles pack and the second is Unity particles pack 5.x. So this is an older Unity particles pack asset. Okay, and this is the newer one. So I'll download this particular asset, and to do this, I'll first open the asset. Now since I've already used this asset in my previous project, so that's why instead of a download button, I'm seeing an import button over here. So I'll click on the import button. Now this particular window is basically saying that if you download this particular asset, then it will overwrite some of the Unity settings. Now inside my Unity project, since I've only imported Vuforia and most of my project is empty, so that's why I'll click on the import button to import this. After this, I'll click on the install button. And next, I'll click on the import button to import this asset. So the Unity particles pack is downloaded and it has created a couple of folders inside our project. From this asset, we'll use the ground fog prefab for generating the heat waves. So to do this, I'll open this effect examples folder. Next, I'll open smokes and steam effects folder. After this, I'll open prefabs. And inside this, you can see there are different prefabs which you can utilize inside a project. Now the prefab which I'm interested in is this ground fog prefab. So I'll drag it inside the hierarchy. So if I zoom out, then inside scenes, you can now see this ground fog. I'll position this ground fog at the same position where our image target is. So I'll select the ground fog and I'll change its X, Y and Z position to 0. So this ground fog is now surrounding a sun. Next, I'll make this ground fog a child of the sun image target. After this, I'll change the color of this ground fog so that this ground fog appears like heat waves coming out from the sun or the heat waves surrounding the sun. So with the ground fog object selected, I'll go inside the inspector panel And from the particle system component, I'll change the color of this ground fog. So I'll click on this start color picker and I'll give this an hex code of FDB813. So this hex code is for the sun yellowish color. Okay, so after this I'll close the color picker. Next I'll zoom out a little bit and I'll reduce the scale of this ground fog. So I'll select it and I'll reduce the scale a bit. I'll also reposition it a little bit. Next I'll click on the play button to test the output. So now in the play mode, as you can notice, these heat waves are basically enhancing the appearance of a sun image target. Now finally I'll add one last thing, and that is I'll create a rotate script and I'll slowly rotate a sun game object. So I'll come out of play mode. After this, for creating a new script, I'll open data files. Inside data files, I'll create a new folder. I'll name it scripts. Inside the scripts folder, I'll create a new C# script. I'll give the script a name of rotate. After this, I'll open it. Now inside this rotate sphere script, I'll first declare a vector3 variable. So I'll write down public vector3. I'll give this variable a name of vect. Now I've made this vector3 data type public so that we can modify the x, y and the z value directly from the inspector panel. After this, inside the update function, I'll write the program for rotating a sphere. So inside this, I'll write down transform dot rotate. Inside the rotate function, I'll write the vect variable and I'll multiply this with time dot delta time. Finally, I'll put a semicolon and I'll finish my code. So the code is complete. Next, I'll press Command S to save the script. After this, I'll attach this script to a sphere game object. So I'll select the rotate script and I'll drag it on the sphere game object. So if I select the sphere game object, then to this object you can see that the rotate script is attached. Now in case of a sun game object or in case of a sphere game object, we'll basically rotate the sun along the y-axis. So in place of y, I'll write the number 10. Okay. After this, we'll test the output, but before that, I'll make one final change. And that is, I'll rename this sphere to sun. So after making these changes, next I'll click on the play button. And this time you can see a sun game object rotating slowly. So a sun is in the center and surrounding a sun are a heat waves. So guys, I finished customizing a sun game object. So that's it from this video and I'll see you in the next video.